All right, so we are recording now. Get the chairs back in place. All right, there we go. All right. So first off, just bring everything together. Hands over lower dantian. Kind of greet the day. Just kind of deep diaphragmatic breathing. Knees slightly bent. Tailbones up, down. And this is a good time to put the mind in the heart as you move through any of the sequences and the flows so that you connect the mind and the emotions together. Clarity of thought, clarity of emotion, clarity of feeling. All right. Kind of step out and just turn. Kind of loosen up the body. Knees are bent a little bit. You can pump the legs a little if you wish. So in the middle, drop down, raise up. Not required if you just something a little bit extra. Mind is in the heart, lower down to the end. Just feeling your body in space and time, feeling the spaces around your body as well. Letting your hands move through the air, feeling that movement. Now, forearms not on lower down to the end and lumbar section. Lean in the back. Lower back down again. Bring the hands still, feet up underneath you. Stand and absorb. So palm, back of palms facing forward. A little bit of space as the elbows are kind of rolled out a little bit. Now this is also a good time to think about energy coming up on the in-breath, going down the inside of the arm, moving back up the outside of the arm and shoulders, flowing down the back side of the body. Put your awareness coming up the inside of your legs. I'm only doing one arm, then with the inside, the right arm, up the back. Now just kind of bounce. Release all tension. Be present moment, mindful in your body. Feel it. Feel the body and the space around it. Bring it back down. And just come up, float the hands up, float the hands down. Little finger and thumb are opposed to each other, creating curvature in the palm. Float the hands up, float the hands down. Now split heaven and earth. Right hand spirals down and in towards the belly. Left hand spirals up towards the sky. Drop it. Inhale. Push. Hold the breath. Exhale. Inhale. Really push through your palms and your wrists to the ground, to the sky. Exhale. Inhale. Feel your root about 4 feet into the earth. Drop. Exhale and inhale. One more. So it's push up, rotate that elbow back a bit so it's in line with shoulder and hip. Press up. Back down. I will do a little spinal cord breathing. Inhale. Roll in, tuck your tailbone, collapse your chest, roll your arms, forearms together. This is on the exhale. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. You're pushing from the root, not just from your heels, but from inside the ground. Put your mind to the earth. It's a nice stretch. One more time. Hands to the side. Inhale, float the hands up. Side. Exhale, bring them down. As you raise up, imagine it's dragging back as you align each vertebrae in your spine. Roll the shoulders a little bit and drop them. Then flapping your wings. Inhale, exhale. So my inhale, I'm tucking the tailbone, I'm rolling up, and I'm not letting my shoulders go too high and flapping wings. So then I take that energy from the shoulders to the elbows to the wrists. And as I come down, I'm pressing out from the wrist and the palms. Now I can also do this more exaggerated, running the thumbs up the inside of the line of the body. So my inhale, run up, thumb along the inside of the body, roll the shoulders back. One more time. Now right hand, press out. Fingers are concave, so opposing little finger, thumb, pressing, pulling the index finger and the middle finger back, pressing through the palm, stretching the neck. Really pull that middle finger back and extend the palm, extend the middle finger and thumb. Switch to the other side. Press out. Press down to the wrist. Thumb, index, little finger opposed. Pulling back on the middle finger. Stretching with the neck. If you feel tension, acknowledge it, feel it, let it go. Relax that. Press out. Inhale. Exhale. Push with your intention through the shoulders, elbows, which are not locked, but then wrists through your fingers. Inhale again. On the exhale, press out with intention. Using less muscle and more intention with every move. Now form the fingers like a bird's beak. You're going to turn the hands over, really rotate so you're trying to get your little finger to point up to the sky. Press down and out through your wrists while you are torquing your fingers in your arm. Deep inhale, exhale, use your mind and intention. Push through. Elongating, trying to have some separation in the joints of the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists. Deep inhale, deep exhale, relax. All right. So as we come forward with this flow, if the hands come up, the hips shift back, you should feel and pay attention to the rooting in your heels as you switch back. As you come forward, the knees are bent, the hips move forward, and you feel your weight shift to the balls of your feet. Inhale, exhale. Move shoulders, elbows, wrists. Feel the kinetic chain in the movement. Your torso, shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers, but also hips, knees, and feet, with your lower dantian as the center. More time. Step out a little wider, shoulder width, not much. Bends in. So bringing this up and just kind of keeping it along the center line. Palm facing towards the heavens. Around. If you feel tension or tightness in the shoulders, relax it in the movement. Still keep the movement. But be attuned. Mind, body, breath. From your lower dantian, just connect with your limbs, connect with your torso, connect with your limbs. We've been working to the outside. Now bring it to the inside. Move through any tightness in the shoulders just by keeping it relaxed, but still catching that torque. And then you can just play with it. One can go out, one can go in. You can go the other way. Synchronize men's in. There we go. All right, bring it all in together. Hands lower dantian. Deep diaphragmatic breath. Look over your left shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, look over your right shoulder as if you're looking to a spot directly behind you. So you want to try and keep a lot of your torso forward. You're working on flexibility into the neck and spine. And your eyes lead the way. So when you point your eyes, say to a spot about 8 feet behind you, directly behind you, your head will turn more. Body goes where the head goes, body bottoms. All right, let's work in with the first flow, looking at lungs. Metal element, so we want to envision attitude, gratitude, appreciation, a good energy into the lungs. And I really do like envisioning that white light filling my lungs. So come up, inhale, crown chakra, push up. Turn the hands over, come back down. Connect with crown chakra, third eye, throat, heart, solar plex, sacral, root. Inhale. Feel the connection. Hold. Turn the hands over. Exhale. Feel the connection. Training your awareness. You become more aware, more deeply aware of the energy that's circulating already in your body through your being, coming down. The quieter you can be on the inside, more relaxed, the more intent you attune to that energy, and be willing to attune to it, the more you'll feel it. Focus on that feeling. Balancing the energies of your body and being. One more time. Drop the hands down, bear hug ball in front, stand and absorb. Breathing in, imagine that energy forming lower dantian, that ball of energy growing larger and denser. One more good deep breath. Even when you're standing here, absorbing the energy of breathe in Dantian, also feel your root into the ground. Now come up, hands to the side, connecting thumb and index finger, which connects long and large intestine. This is my inhale, bringing the hands in. Exhale through the mouth, sending everything out. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, clear the energy out. Now inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. When we exhale through the mouth, we're purging, clearing ourselves of energy. When we exhale through the nose, we're actually building and supporting energy. Breathing in, lower dantian. Now bring the hands up, standing posture. Stand and absorb. Here you can breathe into the lower dantian like we have been doing. It's a good place to do the micro circulation, small circulation. Where I'm running in the inhale, I'm bringing energy up my spine. Exhale, imagine energy coming down the front. Inhale, energy coming up my spine, around my head. Exhale, drop. The knees are slightly bent, tailbone tucked, drop down, chin tucked in a little bit. Rope suspending my top of my crown to the ceiling, so my spine is being straightened. Drop the hands down. Float up. Float down. Resonating. Harmonizing with your energy. We'll go into water flow. One hand, right hand over lower dantian. Left hand scoops. Here's my inhale, exhale, sending energy out. Inhale, exhale. So we're working the kidneys with the water. If I just imagine the energy flowing down my arm into my center, water energy, today I feel a nice cool rush coming down my body. Today I just feel let that energy roll down my arm into my lower dantian. One more time. Now bring it just waist level. Everything intentional, but nice and relaxed. As I'm pushing my hip and my shoulder out, as it comes back, I still pull the hip in, rotate, shoulder, elbow, wrist. One more time. Shorten it, take it up middle line, 2-finger secret sword, and then absorb. Place left hand where the right hand was, right hand now, deep scoop, and at the waist, inhale, exhale. One more time on a deep scoop. I'll bring it waist level. One more time. Head up to center, 2 fingers, stand and absorb. One more good deep breath. All right, second water flow. Drop the tailbone, collapse the shoulders, or collapse the chest, roll the shoulders, back of palms together. Pull energy up, unfold the spine, shoulders down, hands come to chest level, and out. Inhale. Exhale. Feel that energy coming up your legs, hitting roots, sacral, solar plex, heart. Let it go. One more time. Walk the feet in so they're under your shoulders. Hands behind, bare elbows falling back. Hand and absorb. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed and dropped. No tension. When the mind drifts and wanders while we're in standing, just bring it back. If you note any mental tension or physical tension, just let it go. Especially at this point, any mental tension. All right, relax. Feet are about shoulder width, half a fist beyond it. Moving to liver. So obviously liver, we're imagining nice, good green. I'm pulling energy up through liver gallbladder meridians, resonating over gallbladder meridians in the head, and release. Other side, resonate with that energy through liver, gallbladder meridians. Letting it resonate through the meridians in the brain, along the head, and release. One more time. And now come to the side. One hand in, right hand in front, left hand in back. Left hand, put your mind in your palm. Let it trace along the forearm of your extended right hand, bringing the elbows of your right hand to point to, or bring your fingers of the right hand to point to the elbow of the left. Bring it down, pick up chi, extend out through. I get to the apex where it's right in front. Left hand continues, right hand turns palm up, returns back along the chest line, comes out, and it repeats. Inhale. Really kind of get this stretch. Exhale, nice and slow, focused. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale and focus. Inhale. I feel the energy from my palms and forearms, and I feel that energy radiating from my palm, resonating with the meridians within that forearm, and then switching. So as I'm coming back now, my left is radiating from the underside of my right, bringing it down. Everything connects mindfulness, body, and awareness. This will be one more. Now bring that ball of chi. Now with this, you're going to keep your mind. You want to press your hands together until you begin to sense that energy or something between the palms. When you inhale, spread the palms till you're at the limit of what you feel. Exhale, bring it together. Just pulse. You can rotate the hands over. Now bring the feet in. We're going to go back to standing like a tree. So make sure that the feet, your legs are under your shoulders. Hands up. Going to bend the knees a little bit. Now we're going to go more of a standard posture. So my knees are not locked, but somewhat bent. My tailbone is in. It's not sticking out. Shoulders are dropped. Now there's a number of things you can visualize. Breathe into lower dantian, small circulation like we did before. Or the grand circulation where you're tracing, as we talked about, going inside the arms down. Mentally tracing on the back side of both arms. And that energy, just becoming aware of it, just scanning down the back of the legs. Scanning, pulling energy up, leading energy up the inside of my legs to lower dantian, and starting over again. One more deep breath. Bring the hands down. Now we'll go into fire. So we're looking at heart. We've been through lungs, kidneys, liver. Now we're at the heart. Cloudy hands, one of my favorites. So I'm just keeping one hand resonating between the energy in my palm, the energy in my heart. The other hand is just moving through time, space, and energy. Remember, you don't just have energy, you are energy. You are the fire, you are the water. The more we can do this, the more we can transition our awareness and acceptance from having to being. Instead of having energy, we are energy. Instead of having fire energy, we are fire energy. Instead of being like water, we are water. Drop one hand down. Lower dantian. Feel it resonate. Back up to heart. Third eye. Back to heart. One more pass. Now inhale. Bring back of palms up together down your front. Forearms roll together. Hands come out. Bend them as if you're pushing up a ball. So you really want to have a nice torque, thumb, little finger opposed. You want to feel some nice torque. Not so much tension. You're not tensing it, but torquing it. And imagine you're kind of lifting a pedestal up, lifting a boulder up. Stand and absorb. Inhale, exhale, bring the hands down. Next one, lady moves the shuttle. It will come up. If we're doing high block with a push away, as you reach the apex of this push, right now my left elbow is going to turn, right hand's going to come down. My right hand now moves up to high block, left hand now pushes through. So there's a point when my fingers in my left hand point to my elbow of the right as you make this shift. One more time. Now bring the hands up, right to heart, diamond mudra. Press out, so they're right at heart level. Stand and absorb. You can either think about energy coming in through your palms and hands or going out from your heart. Better to give than receive, but you have to receive in order to give. All right, transitioning now into stomach and spleen. One hand over lower dantian. Inhale. Exhale. Scoop up. Inhale. Place your hand. Exhale. As you bring good, clean energy in, put it into lower dantian. Looping, getting good energy in. Clearing any wasted energy out. Energy that you're scooping is actually also part of yourself, because you're one with everything. So we have a mental construct of where we think our body ends, but it doesn't end there. Our energetic body extends well beyond, but everything is energy and you are energy. Vibrates at different frequencies, still energy. Now both hands. Push the hips back a little bit, clear, gather in. You feel that good fresh energy coming through the stomach, spleen, getting rid of any used energy. fresh, clean, your energy. Your mind is what makes it pure. But you want to be mindful and one with your movements. One more time. Now, earth standing. Hands down, feet together. Bring them up. Imagine energy aligning with all of your energy, coming down to your center line. Gathering all that energy, harmonized. Stand and absorb. Bring your feet together. And that concludes. Thank you. There you are, my friend.
So good, man.
Very good.
Yeah, I love the Saturday morning sessions.
Good. I do as well.
Yeah, I really do. I enjoy them. You're still recording, right?
Yeah, I can stop it.
Oh, no, it's up to you. I just wanted to make sure you knew. That's all.
Yeah.
No, I really enjoy these morning sessions. It goes right along with all the breathing exercises I've been doing lately.
Good.
And that it enhances it. I've been pretty consistent with it, Renshi, just so you know.
Good.
I go through anywhere from 5 minutes, depending on how I feel, 5 minutes all the way up to about 15 minutes
Excellent.
of, I still use the guided sessions,
Yeah.
but, they work. So,
They do.
the one that I particularly like, and I wanted to ask your opinion, there's this, I was talking to the guys at the dojo about it. There's that box breathing
Uh-huh.
where you take, inhale for an account of 4, hold it for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and just repeat that cycle.
Right.
That's so good and so effective.
It is. There's a lot of good benefits with that. Hang on real quick. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
Tend to something real quick. The box breathing becomes very important, very beneficial, both health-wise as well as just mentally. So what are you finding when you're doing this? What do you sense?
So at the end of the session, which is typically anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes, I'm ready to go to bed. My mind is all clear. There's a sense of heaviness, and there's a relaxation, I guess, and and I fall asleep within 5 to 10 minutes. Which is the hardest part for me. When I go to bed, sometimes it takes me an hour or two to fall asleep, which is just torturous. So what I do, I'm either watching TV or I'm looking at my phone, which is of course also bad for you because of all the bright lights and whatnot, right? So it just kind of snowballs. But like I told you before, instead of that, now I read the book, which I finished, by the way. It was an excellent book, I thought, with Jimmy Lockett. And then I just breathe and I turn the lights off and I'm ready to go to bed.
Fantastic. Good.
Which, is normal for normal people.
Yeah, we're right.
But we're just getting back to normal now. Yeah, so it's good. And then the other one that I really enjoy also, there's 3 cycles, and I actually feel this. I didn't think that I could, but I do. But he talks about breathing from, of course, all the breathing is diaphragmic from your belly,
right?
And the one cycle is from up to down. The next cycle is side to side, like the lungs expand unilaterally.
Yep.
And the third cycle is just all over, right? And you repeat that. And this session lasts about 15 minutes.
Good.
Which is, I find that really, really good also.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. And when the guy was describing it, I'm like, how do you feel side to side and up and down? But you really do. I do. With a little bit of effort and exercise, practice rather, you can feel the expansion in different ways.
Right.
So.
Well, and that's it. When I first heard about these things, I heard breathe in your kidneys. And I'm like, well, you can't breathe into your kidneys. Yeah. So there's always that section of my mind that is not just literal, but it's like, okay, what's truth? And okay, it's an illustrative concept, but it's actually the diaphragm that you're becoming more aware of. And then being able, once you become aware of it, like with any muscle, you can begin to control it more. We do that with the breath, but also it has both an emotional, energetic aspect to it, as well as just the physical. But that's good. Yes, and now you can you learn how to change and apply pressure from your diaphragm towards the back or towards the side. And then as you breathe in, and you're kind of having some of that downward pressure, especially if you pull up on perineum, downward pressure, I could feel my ribs expand more. So, it's just it's just fantastic as you play with that. And more sensitive to it, you'll feel that in your body. Excellent.
Yeah, it's really, really good. It's, I feel as though it's a much, much healthier way of disconnecting.
Yes.
As opposed to, because, this is really what we do when we watch TV. Like, when I watch TV at the end of the night, when I'm trying to fall asleep, if you tell me what the story is, what that you're watching, who's playing in it, I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I'm just staring at a screen, basically. Every once in a while, I find something interesting that I do pay attention to. But then all that does is stimulates your brain even more, because now you're thinking, whatever the movie is, whether it's, an action movie or whatever, it excites your senses.
Yeah.
Which is not a good thing before you're trying to go to sleep, because you're supposed to wind down, right? So,
right.
So anyway, I'm realizing the benefits of it, and I'm excited always to share it with you. So
Excellent. I appreciate it. That's good stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, that in the evenings, as and you have the neurotransmitters, get the dopamine effects that come in, and so it's good to put the phone down, the TV down, just kind of shut that through. But fantastic, man.
Yeah, the thing the Jimmy Lockett book, at the end, towards the end of it, or somewhere in there towards the end of it, I read that, when you do that and you fill your body with oxygen, you're basically telling your brain that, hey, everything is okay. You're all right.
Yeah.
No matter what happened today, how stressed you are, your brain subconsciously knows that, hey, all is good. Relax now. Come off of that fight flight mode and
Yeah.
go into the rest and digest mode, which helps you sleep.
Right.
So all good stuff, buddy. I appreciate being introduced to it by you and all of that. And it takes a little bit. I'm probably just like everybody else. I gotta see this stuff work before I actually believe in it.
Of course.
It takes a little bit. You fake it until you start to see results, right? That's kind of so good stuff.
It is good, and should never just take it, just because somebody says it. You got to try it out, and you have to have that willing suspension of disbelief. So I'm going to give it amount of time, and I'm going to see. And I mean, that's how I started with this, and I just kind of looked at it and go, I'm not going to believe anything at face value. I'm going to trust the process that to the point where I can see it. I understand that, it's a subtle thing, and I have to be able to build up my awareness. I have to build up all of that. And, so when I first started, I think I gave it 90 days, like I do with a lot of things. And because 30 days isn't enough. They say it takes 3 weeks to change a habit, but you need more than that to really get the concepts. But then the more that I did it, the more I could sense and feel, the effects of it, the benefits. So,
yeah, and I believe it has spillover effects, throughout the day too. Obviously, when you sleep well, like I did last night, like the way I slept last night, Sensei, used to be a rarity for me. Once every week and a half, I would sleep like I did last night.
Okay.
And obviously, when you wake up and you're rested, you feel a lot better throughout the day.
Right.
So this has domino effect.
It does.
Kind of thing to it, and that makes it even that much more important. 5, 10, 15 minutes before you go to bed, which translates into the next 24 hours, right, of you feeling pretty good, so
it's an investment in return.
Yeah, so I really appreciate you kind of introducing me to this stuff and guiding us through it all and all that. So I'm very appreciative of it.
You're most welcome. I'm really glad it's working. I'm glad you took to it. So,
yep.
Not everybody has the ears to hear, but not everybody, I hate to use the word ready for it, but that's kind of what it is. Some people hear these things and they gloss it over. Some people try it and they go, yeah, whatever. But then other people give it the time and then pay attention to the effects and the results, and they feel the benefits of it. So, and you do that. So that's a good thing. So
yeah, and not everybody is in our position either. Life is busy for people. You and I think I'm at a position where I can do this stuff. I can spend the time. People have young kids and work and so.
No, true, but you carve out. Even when I started meditating. When I used to get up at 5 to go meditate. The older I got, the less I was interested in that. But in my 30s and 40s, that worked well.
Right.
When I left real estate and moved down here and took the other work, I'd go out on my lunchtime and do the Qigong set. And it was just balanced because I didn't, I would get up around 6. By the time that we had coffee and breakfast and would leave, and that was about all the time that we would have. I might have time for 15 minutes in meditation, but no Qigong. So at lunchtime, I would do the Qigong. It just makes a tremendous difference, especially, coping mechanisms. But it is just that sense of balance and groundedness that you feel through the day. So, and also then by, I'm talking more about putting your mind in your heart, and creating that heart-mind harmony, and doing that today, you'll feel that grounded centeredness that you feel at the end of the meditation or the Qigong, and you can extend that awareness throughout the rest of your day as well, not just in being rested. So just by actively putting your mind in your heart as you go through.
Yeah, because being in a state of fight or flight, or what we call stressed, happens gradually. So a lot of people don't even know that they're in that state throughout the day. And when it's chronic like that, it's really, really bad for your health. And people don't realize that. On top of the bad diet that's out there, and that this fast-paced life that we have created for ourselves, this is not what we were designed to do physiologically. We were hunter-gatherers. When the sun went down, we went inside the caves and went to sleep.
We had a good night's sleep. Then we invented fire.
Right, exactly. So we're not physiologically designed for that, and people don't realize that. Stress is fine, but you can't be chronically in that level throughout your life. You got to learn how to disconnect and come down from that state, because that's when, according to what Jimmy Lockett was, that's when your body actually heals and repairs itself.
Yeah.
Right? Which means that's why people sometimes live up to 100 years old. And I think their secret is that, that they learn how to disconnect and, relax, and not be there. Your heart rate is always, high. Your blood pressure is always high, and that puts pressure on your kidneys and liver and everything else in between, and you die early,
And so, there is a way of going through life and still being productive and everything else, but, it is recognizing, where the stress comes in. The more that the more that you do this, and the more that you feel that relaxation, then you begin to see how often you are in a state of agitation, in a state of stress. And didn't recognize it. And and it's just how we have evolved in our life with work. Corporate is more and on, with less and less people. Our work, we were on call 24 hours a day, 6-7 days a week, and so all that kind of elevates the stress, plus with all the negotiations and the contracts and everything else we do, you kind of always stay in this elevated sense. And that's what people do, so being able to harness that and then reframe all of that. So ideally, so that fight or flight doesn't touch you, but your mind's in your heart, you're being led by, your passions in your deepest part of you with that energy. So then everything feels more like play, and it's more relaxed. Those are the times we get into that zone. Even though we may be pressed, but we're so focused that it doesn't seem like work anymore. It just seems, more like play. But there's a lightness to it, not just a heaviness.
Yeah.
So,
excellent.
Excellent. Well, very good. I'm going to cut off the recording here. Hang on.